I don't know if you heard the word yet or not, but Oreo cookies is going through a change, and it's only through the Christmas season, and the white, fluffy stuff in the middle that you just lick right off the cookie when you separate them, it's going to red. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. Yeah, red for Christmas.
Why do they always have to mess with it? No, actually, I've seen them in stores, and they are kind of cute, but I am worried about, the red gunk, the cream getting in between your teeth, because that always happens.
Oh, yeah, it does. Well, there's a way to alleviate a little bit of that when you dunk it in your milk. So you take the Oreo, you dunk it in your milk, gets a little soft. It's got to be soft. Then you undo it, you lick the icing, you eat. I mean, it's perfect, especially when you dunk the Oreo in the milk.
That's disgusting. There's no milk. You just forget the milk. I like Oreos. I do like to separate them and take the cream out of the middle or whatever, but you don't put them in milk.
Wait,
that's
you've
disgusting.
You've never dunked your Oreo in milk?
No, I've tried it. It's just straight up mush. Like, that's nasty.
That's the beauty of it.
No, that's no beauty.
No, there's beauty in it.
Mm-mm.
There's beauty in it. Okay, TJ and Ian.
Yeah.
How do you guys do your Oreos?
So for me, I just put the whole Oreo in my mouth, and then I take a drink and I just chew it while I still have the milk in my mouth.
I don't even understand that. Why not just drink the milk or dunk it?
Well, see, it's just good that way.
What I end up doing is I dunk it. I don't take it apart. Like, taking it apart and dunking it isn't my thing. I keep it together, dunk half the cookie in, keep it in for a while to where half of it gets soggy, the other half is crunchy, pop the whole thing. And then you have like the soggy and crunchy together, and it just marries together perfect.
The best of both worlds. So that was Ian who does it that way. TJ slams the cookie and the milk in his mouth all at the same time.
But wait, we got a text from Janet, and Janet said, I'm 100% behind Liz on this. Oreos are for dunking in your face.
In the pie hole.
Right, exactly. But Mason says, go Rob Dempsey, you dunk that Oreo.
Well, thank you, Mason. I'm with you, Mason. You dunk the Oreos. Oh, no. Okay. Kelly's on the line. Okay, Kelly, you say you just did this as a midnight snack last night. What happened?
I had 3 last night.
Okay.
Then my mouth tasted too sweet, so I flipped into having some crackers that I had in the package that were sprouted crackers, jalapeno sprouted crackers. And I had a couple of those, but I think they'd been in the bag too long and they had that bag taste. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, those are gross.
Hate that.
So I dumped those out. And now I had to absolutely do something. So I had some orange juice to just cleanse my palate, but I still really needed something to offset that sweet.
Okay, what'd you do?
So I had some chips and salsa.
Oh.
I don't go all out for one midnight snack, but those sprouted crackers kind of blew everything.
Okay, that took Oreos to a whole new level.
Like the road that she traveled and then ended up at salsa. I don't understand.
I'm telling you, Kelly, you got quite the journey in your midnight snack in there.
His morning crew.
I had no idea this would be an early morning discussion over all things. Are you ready for this? Oreo cookies and how you eat them. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. Oh, my word. How does Ian do it?
Ian sort of does a half and half technique where he dunks half of the cookie, gets it all mushy, and then keeps the other half of the Oreo crunchy. I don't know. It still sounds bad. Any part of the mushy part sounds nasty.
Okay, guys, unmute yourself because we have them on Zoom.
Yeah.
Why, Ian? Do you?
I don't know. It just marries so well together. Like, you get the experience of the milk soaking the cookie, but then still get the crunch of the Oreo. Just the best of both.
Yeah, I don't think Jess actually agrees with you. Jess texted in and said, I'm with Ian. I'm like, okay, Jess. But Diana texted and she said, here's how I eat my Oreos. I love to dip them in coffee. What do you think about that?
Really?
I mean, if it's kind of the same thing. It gives you that mushy texture that you're looking for if you're doing the milk.
There's just something with milk that makes it really nice and tasty.
Well, maybe she puts cream in her coffee and then
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah. I don't know. So Matt wants to chime in, but Matt's going a different direction because he heard Kelly earlier talking about midnight snacking. And Matt, you have to tell us what you do.
When I was in high school, I would make 4 entire pizza bagels for myself whenever I was hungry around midnight, just like toast a bagel, put some pizza sauce on there, sprinkle on probably a half bag of cheese, and then you nuke it in the microwave for 30 seconds, get all melty, and then some garlic salt on top. Very excessive for a midnight snack, but man, it was delicious. That's what I like for a midnight snack.
Yeah.
But that would be some hard sleep and 4 whole bagels.
Well, yeah, you do have that, don't you?
Yeah.
And then the roommates in the dorm.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
What is your Thanksgiving going to look like this year? It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. So they're talking about virtual Thanksgivings now because you can't have like 6 in your house in some places now and 30. I mean, it's all crazy. And so some people, because family can't travel and so far away because of what we're living through this pandemic, they're starting to think about virtual Thanksgiving. They even have tips for this. I'm not going to bore you with a big, long laundry list of tips, but a couple of things that stuck out to me is decide how big your virtual guest list is going to be, because you can have like hundreds on your screen when it comes to Zoom, or you can have like 6 or whatever. And then they even say create a very creative landing page for this. I mean, make it super inviting so that this is a special Thanksgiving and making the best of it. So they say have an itinerary, tangible festive elements for your guests as well that you send out, and pick the best platform. Like there's others. Zoom is what I like to use, but there's also Google Hangouts, YouTube, Twitch has something, Facebook has some Hangout kind of things as well. And they say even to check your Wi-Fi, make sure that puppy works before you sign on. And if you're going to do this virtually, they even say dress the part. I mean, not like get your T-shirt and shorts on and sit in front of the computer, but literally you have to make your own Thanksgiving meal to participate, of course, because you're virtual, but still dress as if you're getting up and going somewhere, which makes a lot of sense. So it brings this question with Rob and Liz this morning. What's your Thanksgiving going to look like this year? Because it's totally different, right? You can call or text. Here's the text line. It's 800-447-7234.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
We're talking about virtual Thanksgivings now and giving ideas for it. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio, 800-447-7234. So curious this morning, how's your Thanksgiving going to look? I mean, we were going to have our in-laws over from Michigan at the Dempsey house. And they called us like a couple of weeks ago and said, you know what, it's just so chancy right now. We're not going to be able to make it. And so, now there's the whole idea of maybe you do it virtual, get the Zoom up and going or Google Hangouts or something and have Thanksgiving that way. At least you're all together, And so really wondering this morning at 800-447-7234, how your Thanksgiving is going to look different. Michelle is chiming in. So what are your thoughts about this, Michelle?
So they say that you can only have 6 people for Thanksgiving this year, but you can have 30 at a funeral.
Okay.
So I've decided
to
have a funeral for my pet turkey. Refreshments will be served. Come dressed appropriately.
Okay. Well, I guess that is one way that you can have a Thanksgiving feast with a lot of people over.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
It's very possible you really don't know what your Thanksgiving is going to look like, at least just yet. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio, especially since some people are now going to do their Thanksgiving virtually, which is weird.
It is a little weird. So we are going to have some of the family for Thanksgiving, but it's going to be different. Hopefully it's going to be nice weather and we're going to be outside because that, is going to help. But yeah, if you're doing it virtually, how is that going to look for you?
Yeah, and how is your Thanksgiving going to look like this year at 800-447-7234? What about you, Catherine? Catherine's with us.
I am spending time with my family. My fiance is coming in from being out of town. He's in the military, and we're going to he's going to come and stay with my family. So I'm really excited.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that he's able to do that because, some people are doing it virtually. They can't even travel because of COVID-19 this year. So at least you guys get to stay together. Some people are going to have their family up on screens.
Isn't that wild? One of the tips was to make sure everybody dresses kind of festively, in their Thanksgiving T-shirts or their sweaters or whatever the case may be, just so that you keep in the feel and it actually feels like Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So what about you? We'd love to hear how you're going to do things at 800-447-7234.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
Okay, I'm so curious because I don't think I know just yet. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio, or I forgot because that's my memory nowadays, especially in Pope. Why am I saying Pope?
Post-op.
Thank you. Oh, my word. Pain medication fog. I don't know what this is. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. So I had emergency surgery last week, and so I'm still doing the virtual thing at home.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm forgetful on a couple of things. So forgive me if you already told me this, but what was Liz's Ugly Bakery going to be tomorrow?
It's going to be a red velvet cake of sorts. I'm going to use red velvet in some way for tomorrow.
Why red velvet? Why'd you pick that?
Well, TJ told me, he thought I should do a red velvet, which I still don't get because he doesn't like chocolate. So I'm kind of like, why would you want me to do red velvet?
What do you mean?
Because it's actually a chocolate cake. TJ does not like chocolate at all.
No, you said red velvet.
Right. Red velvet cake is chocolate cake that is using food color. That's why it's red. It's not.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's not the flavor of red or velvet.
No idea. Why did they call it red velvet?
Oh, I don't know. I really do not know.
Is it a Valentine cake or something?
No, you do serve it at Christmas time and different, maybe for Valentine's Day because it does kind of go with it. So I don't know.
I don't know the last time I had red. TJ's on Zoom. Unmute yourself, TJ. You've tried red velvet?
I love red velvet cake.
Does it taste like chocolate?
It tastes nothing like chocolate. Like we were arguing about this and I looked it up and there's some like chocolate in it, but there's not a whole lot.
There is in most recipes that I've been looking through. It's anywhere from like 3/4 of a cup to a cup of cocoa powder. That's a lot of chocolate.
It's not that much though.
For somebody that doesn't like chocolate, I think that's a lot of chocolate.
I'll still eat chocolate though.
Okay, question. So red velvet cake is not actually a chocolate cake. It has some chocolate in it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
But to me, that is a chocolate cake. If the main component is chocolate, then, you wouldn't call it a sugar cake just because it's got 2 cups sugar in it. So it is a chocolate cake. And it has cream cheese icing.
So where does the red velvet come in again?
Just the food coloring. And I don't know the origin of why but you can also do a blue velvet cake. So you just put in blue food coloring. But again, it's still chocolate.
DJ, have you had blue velvet?
I have not.
Okay, 'cause I was going to ask what that tasted like.
It probably tastes like blue velvet.
Am I talking to the wall? It's chocolate.
No, it's red velvet or blue velvet. And then you got your chocolate cake.
It's chocolate. It's chocolate. Help me.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
There seems to be this issue, this debate, this thing that's going on, this thing about now track with me here, because this is very, very, very important. Mm-hmm. This is life here that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Red velvet cake does not taste like chocolate cake. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
It absolutely tastes like chocolate cake. You put chocolate in. What is the flavor then? Like, I don't get it.
It's red velvet.
That makes no sense to me.
No, it's red velvet.
Wait, Tina texted in and she said, but it doesn't taste like chocolate. She says red velvet does not taste like chocolate.
Told you.
But what does it taste like? Amy says red velvet is a chocolate cake. It looks like a chocolate cake if you don't put the red food coloring in it. So, therefore, it is a chocolate cake.
Okay, well, Amy might have that opinion. That's great. Love you, Amy. We'll never judge you. Liz thinks the same way.
Yes.
She's a baker. I understand. That's semantics. Robert's along with us at 800-447-7234. What do you say it is?
I agree. Red velvet is a specific taste, and it tastes exactly like red velvet. I'm so excited to try the blue velvet now that you've made me aware that there is one. And also, you guys should try the Hershey's Almond Bar. It is the greatest taste of almond you will ever have. Have a great day. Love listening.
Oh, we love you, Robert. Thank you. Makes a good point. Robert, you make a good point. It's not a chocolate bar. It's an almond bar, Hershey almond.
The Hershey chocolate bar with almond is my favorite candy bar. It is
Yeah,
a Hershey's chocolate bar.
No. Did you hear
almonds.
Robert? Robert said, and he's right,
Wait.
it's an almond bar.
No, Robert. On the wrapper, it says Hershey's. Listen to me well, Robert. Hershey's milk chocolate with almonds, not Hershey's almond bar.
No, they're allowed to have their opinion too over there at Hershey.
Even if it's wrong, they do.
Because it's an almond bar. You try it.
His morning crew.
I never thought in my life we'd be stirring the pot like this on his radio like we are. I mean, this is one of those serious topics when it comes to what a red velvet cake actually is. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. I'm sorry I stirred the pot. I'm so sorry.
But it is a chocolate cake. You put like 3/4 of a cup to a cup of chocolate in the cake. It has to make it a chocolate cake. But that's where we are right now.
Take a look at some of the text. 800-447-7234. Okay, just read a few of them.
Yeah, Brandon says, I just need you to know that a red velvet cake is in a class of its own, and it is by far not a chocolate cake. I must repeat, it is not a chocolate cake. And then he air quoted me, Liz. Calling me out. And then Paula said, okay, there is some chocolate in it, but it really doesn't taste that chocolate. It's my favorite. Some versions even have coffee in it. And her husband makes one for her birthday every February. So she is also agreeing with seemingly everyone else in the world that it's not a chocolate cake, but it is.
All right. Chelsea's hanging on at 800-447-7234. Chelsea, what do you say it is?
Well, I am a home baker, and I say that yes, red velvet cake is technically a chocolate cake, but it definitely doesn't taste like a chocolate cake. And I think I know why.
Why?
Because I think it comes down to the buttermilk and the vinegar that is put into the red velvet cake. I think it changes the richness of the cake. But then also on a red velvet cake, you use cream cheese frosting, and typically on just a regular chocolate cake, it's just a normal buttercream. So I think it makes all the difference. Red velvet cake is my favorite, and even though it can be considered a chocolate cake, it's in its own category.
Who's doing the commentary in the back?
My 3-year-old, Evelyn.
Evelyn, you are awesome, Evelyn. Thank you for having mommy listen to his radio this morning. And I must say, there you go. I think the debate is done.
Oh, I don't think it will ever be done. But
She's a baker.
I am too.
I know you are, but she's a baker, and she says red velvet's in a class of its own. It's not chocolate. I mean, come on.
But I'm a home baker, and I say it is chocolate. But I will say we got a text that said, I don't know that I've ever laughed so much hearing his morning crew talk about red velvet cake.
Well, I guess we're in a class of our own as well.
His morning crew.
My son went into the military. Happy Veterans Day, by the way. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew at his radio. But when Wes out of high school went to the military, we started going to this church Eddie Cox is the pastor of. And Eddie said something so profound, and it was like right around Independence Day. And he said, you know what? Freedom's never free. Freedom's never free. And we're talking about our vets. I'm like, wow, how profound that was. That was something that we needed at that time because our son was serving in Iraq and Samara during the time that was just horrible. I mean, you remember all that after 9/11. And it reminds me of course, who Jesus is and how, you know, there's something about somebody who gives their life for their friends. And that's what Jesus did. And we think about our men and women in the military, especially today on Veterans Day.
Yeah, it's that ultimate sacrifice because they're possibly, you know, they're putting their lives on the line, of course, but they're giving up time with their own families and they're going to strange lands that they've never been to before, just for our freedom. And I think it's great that we have Veterans Day, that we take time and we set it aside to say, thank you. We really do have a heartfelt thank you for all that you do. Of course, I wasn't around when my dad served in the military, but he was in the Army and the Air Force back in like the late 50s. And I just know what that meant to him. And I do have the American flag that he was draped over his coffin when he passed away. And it means so much when I see that and it's displayed in our home.
Yeah. A big shout out too, because there are men in our own building at His Radio who has served. Our promotions director and digital strategist, that is Tony Snipes. You see him on Facebook with us all the time. Great guy. He has served. TJ, who is a part of our His Morning Crew team. He's one of our producers in the Navy.
Right?
Happy Veterans Day. Oh, my word. The men and women who just serve, we're so grateful for you. We just wanted to take a moment and say happy Veterans Day.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
I'm not very good at visualizing. Like when you are looking for a new house, they have you walk in. If it's not staged, it's really hard for me to see how everything I own is going to look in the house. So there is an app from John Lewis Company. They sell all kinds of like home items to, decoration, home decor and that kind of thing. They sell Christmas trees, and on the app, you can actually look and see what their Christmas trees that you may buy from them look like in your home.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, virtually looking at the tree in your room. So what you do is you kind of point your phone, the camera, into whatever space it is where you want the Christmas tree, and then it places it. Now, I tried it and it put me inside the tree. So evidently I didn't do it correctly.
How? Were you looking at the camera? Were you doing like selfie version?
No, I think it picked up my desk rather than where I wanted it in the room.
But it put your picture in it? It put like you in the middle of the tree?
No, it was like me in the middle of the tree. So if I panned up with the phone, the camera, then I saw the top of the tree. If I panned down, then I saw the bottom of the tree. It was super weird.
But how did it see you?
And no, it didn't see me. It was like I was in the tree. You know what I'm saying? Like I was sitting in the tree, and that was
inside the tree. Oh, I got you. I was thinking that it put you in the tree. I'm like, how does it see you? How can it put you in the tree? So it was like you were right in the middle of the tree, and it was like crazy looking. Okay, I get that.
Yeah, it was like I was the squirrel in Christmas Vacation inside the tree. It was crazy.
I tried that once with glasses.
Yeah.
Because you can take a picture of yourself and then put all these different frames that are on you. Yeah, I thought it was okay. But you still don't get the feel of something like that. So I don't know. Maybe it'll work for a Christmas tree, but it didn't work for me trying to buy glasses online. I just didn't do it.
I just think it gives you at least a sense of what it may look like in your space, which I like.
Okay, now I don't even know what the app is. What's the app?
It's the John Lewis app. So that's a store that sells like home decor. John Lewis.
It sounds expensive.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, the tree was right around $200. I think it was a plain tree. You could get it fully decorated for a lot more.
So it is expensive.
For an artificial tree? I don't know.
It's His Morning Crew, Rob and Liz.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
I'm feeling for this guy because it was just a wrong turn. There's an Amazon driver. Got the Amazon Prime trucks. You know what the trucks look like. Yeah. They're all over the place. And so they're pretty tall. I would say, I don't know, maybe 12 feet tall.
Probably.
Because they look like a Sprinter truck, kind of. And so here's this Amazon driver, and he's on a golf course, and this is like in Colorado. And he turns down the wrong street, and it turns out to be a cart path.
Uh-oh.
And so he's like, okay, I took a wrong turn somewhere. Let me go underneath this bridge and turn around, and I'll get on the right path. I'll find my way out of this thing. And so what he did not know was that path was, the bridge was 6 feet. Remember, this truck is about 12 feet tall. There's no sign. It doesn't say 6 feet because this is a golf course. And so it was just like a little bridge going underneath. It was a cart path bridge going over a cart path on the ground. And so the dude drove into this tunnel and got stuck.
Oh no. Like
drove the truck right in there. It was like stuck. The whole front of the cab is like inside the tunnel. The rest of the truck is sticking outside the back of the tunnel.
Oh, did they? Because I've heard this has happened like to an 18-wheeler or whatever that's done this same sort of thing, and they let the air out of the tires so that they can move it back because it's so wedged, but that loosens it. I wonder if they had to do that.
No. It took about an hour and a half to get this truck out. The guy was so embarrassed. So embarrassing. So here's the thing. The groundskeeper of the golf course, the head groundskeeper was really mad. He's like, I can't believe this guy just did this. And then he saw the guy inside the truck. His head is hung low. It's like on the steering wheel. He's just like so remorseful that even happened that the guy forgave him on the spot. It's like, dude, it's okay. Anybody could do this.
Well, I think most of us have followed GPS or Waze or whatever, and you almost take a really bad turn. That's probably what happened here.
Absolutely. I mean, you just follow the GPS. The poor guy took a wrong turn. He realized it just a little too late.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
Really don't want to go another second this morning on his radio and his morning crew. Hi, I'm Rob Dempsey, and that's Liz Riles. Without saying Happy Veterans Day, and thank you for serving our country so well. We love you and appreciate you so much.
Yeah, we thank you for your service, that sacrifice that you make you have made in your life, taking it away from your family and your life. But there are some things that are happening today. There are some freebies for veterans. I don't know if you knew about this, but you can get free haircuts today only. It looks like Great Clips and Sport Clips. And then there's meals, a couple of the restaurants that are giving free meals to veterans. Applebee's, Chicken Salad Chick. There's a bunch out there, but those are just two that really jumped out at me.
So I was looking online and I saw on Godvine this one very appropriate prayer for Veterans Day. And I thought I'd share this with you because it puts it so well on what our men and women who serve our country so well do for us every single day and what our veterans have done for us. And simply says this: Dear Lord, today we honor veterans, worthy men and women who gave their best when they were called upon to serve and protect their country. We pray that you will bless them, Lord, their unselfish service in the continual struggle to preserve our freedoms, our safety, and our country's heritage for all of us. Bless them abundantly for their hardships they faced, for the sacrifices they've made, for their many different contributions to American victories over tyranny and oppression. We respect them, we thank them, we honor them, we are proud of them, and we pray that you will watch over these special people and bless them with peace and happiness. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Happy Veterans Day to you.